Hi, welcome to Two Non-Doctors. I'm Liz Mealy.
I'm Maria Shahada.
We're back.
We did it again for second week in a row. We're like
Is
actually back.
this is like responsibility. This is us being podcasting adults.
Yeah, I'm super proud of us. I feel like because we've already released our first episode, and I feel like the basket thing I had behind me has eclipsed the fact that we were back in the first place. Because the comments so far have been like it's like we're back, and they're like, okay, but like, what the fuck are you? Where are you?
At least four people were like, "Were you in a hostage situation? What?
Yeah.
What is?"
Yeah. All right,
And
mistakes have been made. It's fine.
when you come back, it doesn't mean you come back fully formed and ready. You have to I always think there's like a little gap as you grow as a person and you have to be able to leap. And you had to leap over like a basket to get to no. Okay.
What?
I'm just
Oh,
I want everybody to know that we talked on the phone before this episode and I was talking about somebody in your life and I was like they just need to grow up and be a donut. And you were like, "What?" And
I,
I was like, "Be an adult. Be an adult." I don't know where donut came from. I'm not okay. I'm
I
not
think
okay.
I think grow up and be a donut is our next t-shirt.
Just grow up and be a donut.
Two
Like
non-doctors.
fucking and people are like, "What?" And you're like, "It's actually
You
never
gotta
made
listen to
sense."
it. And then they listen and it
Yeah.
still doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
Yeah. But it was because I talked to you on the phone and then I left a message for my friend Amanda. And again, I couldn't like reach for words. And I was like, I just told my friend that somebody needs to grow up and be a donut. So I'm not sure if I should be talking to people right now.
Yeah.
Uh, because that's where I am.
Well, here we are anyway. So I've been sick, by the way. Like if I sound like I'm going, it's because I'm getting over some sort of coffee cold situation. Like, and it's a weird sickness because I'll feel fine. Actually, like there were a couple times on stage, like I didn't even, like I felt fine, and then 9 minutes into my set, I couldn't stop coughing, and then I'm like trying to finish the last joke like this, and then the next set, like I couldn't talk at all, and then I had to leave early. I don't so, but like if you're just talking to me, you wouldn't know I was sick at all. Like I wasn't,
But
I was a
that's
little
because
out
I
of
think
it,
it's
but
I get that we're, like, amplified, but it does take some to kind of project and perform, and I've even noticed where I'm like, I feel a little raspy, and I'm like, "I'll be fine," and then, of course, I'm like, "God damn it," like, clearing your throat on stage is, like it's not gross, but it doesn't feel good. You definitely don't feel
oh,
like,
it's
"Yeah, I want an
disgusting. Are you
audience for
serious? It's
this."
like I sniff into the microphone sometimes. I'm like, I'm sorry. It's just like one of those like, like it's just horrible
Yeah.
sniffs. And you're like, Jesus, I amplified that for the whole room. Sorry about that.
I also don't understand everybody got sick 2 months ago. Everybody got sick 2 months ago, and your body was like, let me take my time with this.
Yeah.
I wanna get all the medicine on my own.
Well, maybe it traveled like west to east, and so we are just a bit delayed. Like, you remember how fads before the internet it would take like 5 years for something to get overseas, or even to
Yeah.
Ohio, if I'm honest.
Sure, sure, your sickness is a fad. I don't know, I just feel like and maybe I'm thinking of everyone in the US, but there was just, like, a moment where every single person I talked to, including myself, was sick.
Yeah.
And I get that that's what the winter is, but I don't know if it's, like I can't figure out if it's because of COVID, we're more, attuned and aware of it, or it's almost how I feel about politics, which is like I'm an adult now because I think about it and I care about it.
I think it's because of COVID, I think you're more aware because you're aware that everyone else is aware. So it's like if somebody coughs in a room, everybody's like, don't like that because it could have like
Yeah,
bigger implications than just another cold,
yeah.
which you don't want anyway. But COVID, like, it's just like, oh, this could be really bad for me. So I don't know. I think more people are
Yeah,
just paying attention.
possibly. I also, like I don't recall them telling us the death counts of flu all the time, You know what I mean? Because people do die from the flu. So, like,
Yeah.
once a year, it's like, get your flu shot, people die from this, but I don't recount, like, the entire winter, like, from, like truly from, like, October, like, pre-winter to, like, March of people being like, "People are dying out there," and you're like, "Thanks, news." Like, "Cool. Always a bummer. That's what we like about you."
Yeah, but I think it was because it was, like, the outskirts of people. It was like, the flu that didn't usually just kill, like, a 20-something healthy adult like COVID did.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool.
I don't know, I feel like my as we talk about it, my throat is not okay.
Ooh, maybe you have what I have. Maybe it is going east to west.
Mm-mm. I ate something dusty. I
That's what it
ate,
was.
like it's
Like,
100% I was hungry, I didn't have breakfast, and I was like, "I just needed to throw something in my mouth," and, um,
it was a
this will make you
dusty
laugh.
donut.
It was a dusty donut.
You grow up and be a
Um,
donut.
just grow up and be a donut. No, this will make you laugh because this has pretty much been our friendship for 10 years. I'm gearing up to go gluten free, but I haven't. And how I'm gearing up to go, shut up, shut your face up. How I'm gearing up to go gluten free is I've bought in my
Ill.
past gluten free snacks, which are pretty much sawdust, like just like salty sawdust. There's some that I really like there's some really good ones. Simple Mills, I don't know if you get them in the UK, but
Yeah.
Simple Mills is like a really good, like, gluten-free and like, what do you call it? Um, oh, I can't even think of the word. God damn my brain. Um, but they're just like they have I when you take away something from at least for me, when I take away something that I want, I replace it with texture. I don't know why my hands are doing this, but I replace
'Cause
it
you're
with texture.
Italian as fuck?
I just like I replace it with texture. Um, I replace it with texture, and so I go for crunch. And so these have like a really good crunch, but they're also dusty. And
Okay.
now it's in the back of my throat.
Oh, okay. Alright. Well, fine, I guess I'll accept that. Good luck on your journey with gluten-free. It's a decades-long attempt, and, I wish you well. It's like you're on your 7th wedding, and you're like, "I love him this time." And I'm like,
Yeah, no, and you're like,
okay."
I'm gonna buy you a gift card. You spend it however you want to.
Yeah. I
I
look
can't get
forward to
you an
hearing about the downfall.
yeah, yeah, of course. Please start a blog. My 7th wedding, my 18th time of attempting to be gluten free. I mean, I've gone like months, but I can't. It's not. I don't think it's ever going to be a lifestyle for me. But I do know I feel better when I take the gluten out of my diet. And furthermore, I found out. So I've always loved goldfish, Pepperidge Farm goldfish,
Sure.
but they have yeast in it, and I'm allergic to yeast. And um, Trader Joe's makes a brand of Swimmers or something that's
Ew.
also
Terrible
in the
name.
world. Yeah, I don't think it's called Swimmers, but it's
Okay. I
something
hope not.
something aquatic that is also cheesy. And they don't have yeast, but I haven't gone to Trader Joe. It's like too far of a walk and it's cold, so I haven't gone. And then I don't know, I noticed that the pretzel goldfish don't have yeast in them, and most pretzels have yeast in them. And I bought them and I was so excited. Great crunch. And it's made of asbestos or something. It hurts my stomach so bad.
Oh,
Like,
no.
just it just doesn't it's, like, extra gluteny. I don't know. It's, like and the levels of, like, gluten can, like, affect my health and my stomach to, like, these goldfish. Like, it's so I have them, and I have to just throw them out, but they're so good, and there's a part
I
of me
look,
that's
if
like,
your
"I'm not
stomach's
gluten-free
gonna hurt,
yet."
you might as well have something good like Cheez-Its. Don't fuck around with, like, pretzel goldfish.
I know, but Cheez-Its have yeast in them. Yeast
No,
is the
but
thing
that's
I
what I'm
don't
saying, like, your stomach hurts anyway.
yeah, but yeast my allergy to like I think I have a gluten intolerance, but I have a confirmed yeast allergy. So yeastiness can hurt my life longer. Gluten just hurts my tum tum is probably not great for my overall health. Yeast has like lasting effects of sadness.
Explain it to me again without your hands, let's see if I understand.
I just like I tie them down for the episode.
When I listen to our audio, I don't know what the fuck's going on. I
No
need your
idea. I'm just so
visuals.
lost. Um, it is so funny because we are now comedically, we're in a culture of videos over audio, right? It used to be like put out your album and I have an album, and now it's all like clips and specials and what have you. But for the most part, when I'm fixing a joke or working on my material, I audio record it and I listen back. And it's not until sometimes recording my special that I watch myself perform, and I am directing traffic. I'm like, you know what I mean? Giving a presentation. I'm like serving platters. Like my hands and my face, I have no idea what they're doing
You
most of the time on stage.
are akin to what do you call, like, performance poets? Like, everything you say has a rhythm and a hand gesture.
There are more and more people being like, "This is like poetry," and I was like, "I'm gonna I'm gonna say thank you, but I don't mean it."
It's more like prose,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Funny poetry, right? At least funny poetry, and they're like, "No, it's poetry," and you're
No,
like,
you're
"Great."
one turtleneck away from it being like a just like a performance art.
I just bought one of those, like, half turtleneck shirts, where
A
they're just,
mock
like, flirting.
turtleneck.
Yeah, they're, like, flirting with neck covering, but it also doesn't have sleeves, so you're just like, "Who are you trying to be? What do you wanna be? Pick a lane."
You bought it.
I know, I'm just like I liked everything else about it, and I
I've
was like, "I
been
think I can do this."
I've been
Also,
wearing this. Oh, go ahead. You have a
I was
swan-like
gonna
neck?
say
Was that what you were about to say?
I was gonna say I have a freakishly long neck, and I think we could take it down a notch. That's
Yeah.
also
Okay. Alright, you're
we
playing with lines. I got it.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm just
The
a
illusion.
fashionista. Yeah, we're doing illusionary work over here.
Illusion.
I don't I don't know if I have anything going on in my life. I'm at a place where, like, I am just overwhelmed by everything, but nothing is wrong.
Yeah, that makes sense. You just have a lot on your
Like
plate and you haven't caught up.
yeah, I think it's 2 things. I have good problems, right? These are problems that you want to have. Um, uh, you're just like, "Oh, my Mercedes needs to go to the shop." Like, you know what I mean? Like, I have different problems. Um, but the other thing is that I'm like and it's funny, like, when we first started doing this during the pandemic, like, we talked about, like, organization and, like, um tricks and hacks and stuff like that. But like I'm crazy. Like I just it's Post-it notes. Every like my tricks they can't who I was and how I managed everything. I was like chaos, then I learned some tricks or whatever and I figured it out and that's kind of kept me through to maybe a year ago and now like my tricks aren't working or they don't work the same way they did before. So if it was like a 90% efficiency, I'm at like a 60% efficiency. And I just there's like not enough room on my post-its and enough space in my brain for me to like I feel like I had 2 jobs before and now I have 16 jobs. And I'm
Yeah.
like somebody needs to take these jobs.
Um, yeah. So I've been first of all, I've been watching The Deuce, so when you say my tricks aren't working, like, my first thought is you're a pimp. And they're at 60% efficiency, and I'm like,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
you gotta get those hoes back up."
Bitches
Um
aren't working.
The Deuce is pretty good, and, yeah, I
Great.
feel that when you got into a new relationship, you it just started the kind of, like, descent of productivity. I just feel like things got behind and behind and behind and behind. But it wasn't just
For
like the relationship, it was also like, like he had some like that big
health
health problem,
issues.
which I don't know if you're
Yeah.
even yeah. So you were caring for him too. So it's just like that kind of pushed some things out of the way, but then it just kind of had a domino effect.
Well, I was already behind because I always get behind right before I do a special because I'm like touring nonstop and all I'm doing is preparing for the special. So I was already like a month and a half behind for the special. And then and that's around the time I got into a relationship. And then he had surgery and issues, and that did that, and that pushed things behind. And then more touring, and then now, like, it's just like I feel, and then I feel fortunate. Like, I got my agent during the pandemic, and I started doing like self tape auditions or whatever. But then the strike happened, right? And I know that's like two different things, like pandemic, da da da. But like, I really enjoyed the strike because I didn't have to self tape.
Yeah.
Which, just to give context to anybody that doesn't understand, it ruins my week. It ruins, and like, you care about acting way more than I do.
Oh,
Um,
yeah. But I still, as much as I love acting, self-tapes are a
they
pain in
ruin
the
your week
ass. Yeah, because you
because
have
this.
to, there's so much prep involved. Like, sorry, I know
No, 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 go. You've
I've derailed your anger, but there's so much prep involved. You have to memorize your lines, you have to find someone who can help you, and then you have to take like 3 hours of their time. Then you gotta edit it and make sure, and by the way, casting directors want you to be like a video production team, all as one person who has a life, but like they give you like, you have 4 hours,
Yeah,
memorize the lines.
100%.
Yeah, and then edit the video and make sure it's like 3/4 length and there's like, like at 780p or what, I don't even know. Like, you're just like, I don't know what any of this stuff means, like, to the point where you almost have to hire someone to do it because you can't like act and be free and like learn everything you need to know like creatively and figure it all out technically in the amount of time that they need you to. So then it becomes expensive to do self-tapes. Like, it's a pain in the ass. I love acting, but that's all bullshit.
It is all bullshit, and it's like the benefit of a self-tape in the sense is that I don't have to leave the house, and I can do as many takes as it is necessary to A, memorize it, and B, feel good about it. But the other thing is my week is packed, my week is booked, my week is packed, and then you get this thing that's like, "We need a self-tape by tomorrow at 6 AM," and you're like,
Yeah.
"It's 7 PM today." Like, "What? Oh,
Yeah.
fine." So now I have to shower and do my makeup and play make believe, like, okay, I'm a doctor that is missing an arm, and you're like, I guess I could tie one sleeve back. Like, you're like, okay. And then you have to go find a reader, waste their goddamn time.
Yeah.
And then every time you mess up a take, you're like, I'm sorry. I had it. I'm so, I had it. I had it. I had
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, you're like,
Um,
last one, I swear." And then there's no
yeah,
way
yeah,
it's gonna
yeah.
be the last one.
Yeah, and then it's like, and for me, like, who I'm asking, so when you're really desperate, I've asked my mom, I've asked Sammy, my brother, who is severely dyslexic, and I'm dyslexic, so we're both being like, "What do you think that word is?" And I'm like, "We're gonna
Oh.
wing it." I've had my boyfriend do it at this point, and he's like, "Do you want me to act?" I was like, "I'm barely acting. Nobody needs to act. Just
Don't
everybody,
outshine me,
everybody."
okay? Just read the right
Yeah.
lines.
Um, my friend Danny's been is doing the editing for us for Two Non-Doctors, which is half the reason, talk about taking things off my
Yeah.
plate, that we're able to do this. But when
Thank
I
you,
stayed with
Danny.
Danny, thank you, Danny. Um, when I stayed with Danny for a month, I think it was in 2021, I had a bunch of self tapes, and she's a videographer, so she's like, "Let's do this." She's like yelling at her kids. She's like, "Kids, dogs, we need an hour of silence." So they're all like, sometimes they would sit on the steps and just watch, and I was like, "Oh, this is like a panel. It's like a real audition."
You're like,
Like
"Hollywood,
truly, like,
everyone, Hollywood."
yeah, like Decker is just like, that wasn't a good take. But he's just like, "Meh." um, but it made me laugh so hard because, like, she'd be like, "I read really good on that one." She'd be like, "It's Hollywood time. I'm gonna get discovered." And I remember being like, "That's actually how Brad Pitt got discovered." She's like, "Really?" I was like, "No,
Oh.
he wasn't the other person on a self tape. Are you insane? It was his eyes, obviously, and his chiseled jaw. It wasn't the way he read on behind the scenes." But it is like, I feel very fortunate for her, and truly, I mean, you've read with me. Like, there's so many people. It really takes a team. Like, it's like a community that helps you self-tape. And then I got a call back for one of the auditions, one of the ones Sammy read for me. Um, and I was super excited about it, but I didn't know, because I had done 3 auditions that week. I didn't know what it was for. And it was for a woman that was Jersey trash, like legit. This woman that was just like, her boyfriend died, and the cops came to interview her, and they were like, "Hey, just so you know, he died." She's like, "I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck." Like, why would I give a fuck that he's dead? And I was like, "Oh my god, this is my calling." And then
I
the
wanna be in the
callback,
room where they're watching all of those self-tapes. Just how many people going, "I don't give
"I don't
a
give a fuck."
fuck."
And then I was so excited. I was like, I was meant to do this. And then the first thing the woman says, because it's like a Zoom callback, she's like, "We loved your audition. Do you think you could just like drop the accent?" And I was like, "Oh, that's my voice." And
Yeah.
I barely acted in this. And we all laughed. We just laughed and laughed. And then I didn't get it. But it doesn't matter. It was such a moment. Just made me realize that I should be auditioning just for Jersey parts.
Yeah, but apparently you're too Jersey.
I'm too
Like, can you
Jersey.
tone it down? Less hands? Less
And
hands.
you're
We
and you're
can't
like,
do
"Motherfucker." I'm not yelling at her the same way. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Ugh. Um,
I'm like your
should we
hype
do
man in the
announce
background, like, "She
Yeah,
don't give
yeah.
a fuck."
She don't give a fuck. You tell he's dead, and we are glad he's dead. Um, let's do announcements and then Googles.
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome. Um, we're back. So you can find us on the YouTubes. Hopefully you're watching this on the YouTubes, or our podcast is everywhere that you listen to podcasts. Is it I think it's two non-doctors, full word doctors, right?
Price for what?
For YouTube and how they find us on
2
like
non forward doctors at gmail.com. I have to remember it in song.
Yeah. No, we really had it
Yeah, I
down.
think the YouTube and Twitter is full word doctors and just the Instagram is DRS.
Cool. Um, we are putting together a European tour, but it's not solidified yet.
But it's
So
solidifying.
it's solidifying. So it's going to be mid-May, and so far we have London confirmed, Paris, Brussels, Amsterdam, Frankfurt, and Switzerland. I think like Geneva and Zurich. Still working on some others in that time frame.
Hmm.
I'm hoping to add Edinburgh and Dublin. Then we'll see what else. That's in May.
Paris?
But
Is Paris happening for us?
yeah, I said Paris.
Did you? Oh.
Yeah, I think it's the night. I think it's May 19th. Things are. I made a Google
Oh, we're gonna
Doc.
need some cheese and chocolate.
We're gonna have a little romantic day together. Um, but touring for me, by the time this comes out, you should get ready. Florida, get ready. I'm going to be in St. Augustine, Tampa, and Pensacola at the end of March, and then for April, I'll be in Vancouver, Corning, California, San Diego, LA, Minneapolis, Hartford, and Providence. And that's my springtime activities.
Yeah, that sounds great. I'm excited to be on the May shows with you. May 2nd, I'm at the Bill Murray, actually. I'm doing a work in progress there. I'm gonna try to have some tech ready on my show that I've been working on this solo show, but I've been trying to it's been becoming more theater-esque and less stand-up-y. So,
That's so exciting.
yeah, I mean, it is kind of like there's gonna be like sound effects and like people talking from the, to
I
speakers. I
I
don't know
got
how theater works.
I love that you couldn't even finish that. You're like, "It's gonna be high tech. There's gonna be people talking on speakers." So,
Yeah. Or it
I
won't be
saw
ready and
the
it'll just be more of a stand-up show.
I was gonna say I saw the less high tech version at Union Hall this summer.
Yeah, you did, yes.
Yeah, it's a beautiful, hilarious show
Thank
that
you.
didn't have speakers, I guess.
No, there was nothing, there's no tech.
There's no tech.
Um,
Um,
yeah, that's it for announcements, I think. And then alright, Googles?
yeah. Oh, and we're getting our Patreon together. You can give to our
Yeah.
Patreon, Tune on Doctors. It's a little out of date, but I'll update those, I think, in like the next week or two. But help I have to get a microphone, obviously. I'm trying to get my life together. I can't figure out why this like nobody can see it unless you're watching it, but I don't have like an inch on either side of my screen. I've tried everything to try to fix it. This is like a new
Oh, yeah,
computer.
is this a new problem?
No, I've had it since I got this computer and I've tried everything to fix it.
I really don't like that.
I really hate it. And I've tried everything to fix it. And it's
Huh,
like a new computer. Like it'd be one thing if this was like, oh, I don't have the same tech. Don't know why. Evan tried to help me fix it. We thought we fixed it. We did not fix it.
okay.
I've Googled. So I'm gonna try to get my life together.
Yeah, I mean, get that shit together, because aesthetically, it pisses me off. Just
Great,
kidding.
great, awesome. Do you want to go first, googly wise?
Yeah, I mean, I have, like, so many. Let me just pick one. Um, Is working from home while sick considered resting?
No.
No?
I'm just
You
gonna
just
answer that.
you just all right. They're not even
The
worth
answer is no.
Googling because
Yeah, girl, why are you
so
Googling this? It's a
so
no.
you don't think that like if I'm just sitting on a couch and just like answering some emails and like doing a bit of work and writing, that's not resting. Like if I'm sick, I should just be if that's the case, fine. But then is resting or like sitting and watching TV while sick, is that resting?
Okay, let's break this down. If you weren't sick, would it be considered rest? So if answering emails and doing work, is that considered rest if you weren't sick? My
No.
answer is no. TV is one of these weird mishy mashy things because there's people that are like, that's not real rest and recuperation because you're just zoned out. But I mean, I fight that a little bit because sometimes rest, in my opinion, is just there's no other objective other than to just like veg and be without worry, right?
Yes.
And I'm one of those people that's either doing something or worrying. And to be, you know what I mean? To
So
be
you,
kind
so
of
you need to
zoned.
occupy your brain so that you're not worrying and stressing yourself out.
Exactly, because the next question would be, well, is reading considered restful? And it's like, well, yeah, it can be super enjoyable, but it is a very active thing. But if it's either watching TV, reading, or working, I mean, the thing that's going to make me feel the most rejuvenated would be watching TV because I get really tired from reading, being dyslexic.
Okay, that's so interesting. So, like, but ideally, if you're resting, you're just lying in bed staring. Do you know what I mean? Like, what is rest?
Oh, that would be painful to me. I
Sure.
mean, if I'm deathly ill, I probably am gonna be, you know, what, in a tub or in my bed or doing something kind of nurturing, but even like my shoulders are like super fucked and I took an Epsom salt bath yesterday and I hate baths and it's just painful to be there. And so one time I listened to a podcast and that really kind of helped me get through it, but I usually keep a towel and I'm just on my phone in the tub, especially now that they're waterproof. I'm less scared to drop my phone, but like I laid there for 10 minutes of the 20 minutes I was supposed to take this bath. And I was like, this is the opposite of relaxing to me. Like my head's going a mile a minute and I hate this. And then I was
Yeah.
on my phone and I was like, I'm tweeting from the tub. Like,
I actually don't think I like baths anymore either. Like, our like a a switch tripped. So electricity went out downstairs, which means the boiler was out, which means we had no hot water or heat. And then the repair guy comes over and he's like, "Oh, the bathroom wall is fucked, and your landlord needs to replace that, like the outside wall of the bathroom. But until then, like take baths." I'm like, "Sir, that is not a solution
yeah.
to." I hate taking. I don't want to just sit in my own stew. Like I just, you know what I mean? Like I just want to like showers are so refreshing and baths are just I just feel like I'm boiling. Like I don't like it. I don't like it. And
Yeah.
I
You're
used
like
to
a
love
frog
baths.
waiting to die.
Yeah, waiting to die. I was gonna say that, but I was like, is that dramatic?
No, not at all. You're roasting. No, it's like the 1800s. I don't wanna fucking take a bath. It's like takes forever for the tub to fill, and then it's like kinda I don't you have to always kinda be cold to wash, like something has to be out, and then you're like fucking putting soap, and then the water changes to a color that's not clear, and
Yeah.
it just it's inefficient, and, like, I have friends that, like, that's what they do after a long day, and, you know, I've watched the TikToks, like, I even told my boyfriend, I was like, "Oh, if I had, like, one of those pillows, because there are people that have, like, little, like, pillows and, like, a whole, like, setup or whatever, but A, I'm never gonna do that because I don't enjoy it, and 2, like, I uh, is something relaxing if it needs too much accoutrements? Like, if I need a glass of wine and a pillow and, like, a speaker and, like, I just nothing about it. I mean, it
Yeah.
feels good, like hot tub wise for like 5 minutes where I'm like, "Ooh, warm,"
Yeah, like once
but
you get
like
in, like you're like, "Oh, that's nice." And then that's it. And then when you get out, you're like, "That's great." And then you have to like take a shower anyway to get all this soap off you. It's just inefficient. I don't like it.
did the Google actually say
Oh,
anything?
the
Because I
Google,
didn't read
right,
it yet.
right. So the
Yeah.
Google
I was
said,
just like, "No."
yeah, I was like, "Fine." The Google said, like, I mean, there was a lot of, like, faff. What did it say? It said there wasn't enough research about whether or not, because more and more people are working from home and working from home while sick because, like, it doesn't count as a sick day if you're still working from home. But there isn't enough research to say if that's bad or not, but they do think you're just gonna elongate your sickness, and it could cause depression.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I just think work is work. I mean, yes, you're more comfortable, right? You can get tea whenever you want. You can be in your PJs. You're not sitting upright. Like you
Yeah,
can take a nap if you need to. Like I think it's the scheduling of it and the comfort of it is better. Like I'd rather be sick at home than sick at the office.
yeah,
Um, but I don't think it's rest. In what world is it rest?
right. Okay.
I like
No.
yelled at you. I was like, "Your
I
Google
just
is
that's the answer.
ridiculous. Why'd you even Google? Why didn't you text me? I thought we were friends."
Sorry, sorry.
Um, Mine is ridiculous. So my okay, my Google is how do I know if I have astigmatism? And this is the thing. I was talking to my mom. My mom hates driving in general, but my mom doesn't like driving at night and isn't good at driving at night because she has astigmatism. And basically, she says what it does is it flares out the light. So if
Oh, that happens to me. I didn't know that was astigmatism. I hate
same,
driving at night too,
same. So she said so like everybody else sees like a beam and it's like a flared out thing and it makes it really hard to see like coming
especially if
traffic
it's
and like
raining. Oh, no fucking
oh
way.
nightmare. So my mom had said that, let's say, a couple of months ago, but I've also known she never liked driving at night, and she has terrible eyesight. So that's what I thought. And then Emily, I was with my sister in LA, and I needed her to drive at night, and she was like a little wiggly wobbly. I was like, "What's going on?" And she's like, "Oh, I don't like." Oh, it was raining. It was raining
Yes.
in LA, and it was night, and she was a little wobbly, and she's like, "Oh, I don't like driving at night. I just everything gets like blurred or whatever." And I was like, "Oh, do you have astigmatism?" She's like, "I think so." So then I don't think I have astigmatism. I just, I'm always like, I have shitty eyesight, but I didn't think anything of it. And then I was driving my boyfriend's car and it was like, I don't know if like somebody put something into my mind and I just started noticing it, but I was like, "Oh my god, this sucks." Like everything like it's really hard to see. Like
Yeah.
I like I don't know if it was because I don't really drive at night in New York City and I was driving at night in New York City, but I just felt like every single headlight, every single my eyes hurt and it just sucked. And I was like, "Oh my god, did I just never notice this?" Um so essentially, I learned a bunch. Astigmatism is a common problem that can affect your eyesight, and an unusual shape of your cornea or lens affects how you perceive light. It can blur your vision and affect your ability to see well at night. And then uh, experts call astigmatism a refractive error, which is essentially a fancy way of saying that your eye doesn't bend or refract lights correctly. And then there's two types of astigmatism: a corneal and a lenticular,
Lenticular?
lenti lenticular. Thank you. I was going to get there after the podcast. Um,
I'm like, "We
with
got 2
corneal,
minutes."
what'd you say?
I'm like, "We got 2 minutes." I'll just
Yeah, we
help.
got great, great. Uh, we are on a budget. Okay. When corneal astigmatism, your cornea has more of an oval shape instead of a round shape. With lenticular astigmatism, it's your lens that is misshapen. So there's two types of them. I don't know. I'm curious to get it checked out, but just let's fast forward a second. Like it was the most difficult I've had driving at night in the sense that I just felt uncomfortable. Like I was fine, but I just felt like I just very much noticed that I was like, "Oh, this is my eyes hurt." I think my contacts were just dirty.
You were
Um,
joining, like, astigmatism groups and,
yeah,
like,
yeah, truly, I was like, "I'm gonna pay
just
whatever it
reading
takes to get I'm gonna
pamphlets,
get
like, "The more you know."
surgery." I really just think it had been a while since I changed because my eyes really hurt, and I can't tell. I will know the next time I drive at night if it is, and then I'll go get it checked out, but I'm not joking. I just changed my contacts the next day. My eyes already feel better, and I was like, I think especially because it was my left one specifically that I kept being like, "Am I is that blurry?" Or what like, but I think I just love the idea that I did all this, like, research and it's
Yeah.
like, oh, I think I'm gross. Like, I think my contacts were, like they're monthly, and I think they were, like, a month and a half, and I have, like, sauce on them. Like,
Yeah.
they're, like, barbecue sauce lenses.
Your eyeballs are just like, "We're fine, just please, like,
Oh
wear some
god,
clean
girl.
contacts."
Girl. And I have, like, a huge stack. I'm one of those people that buys, like, a year at once, and there's no reason. We're back. So we will
Yeah.
see you next Tuesday. Thank you for, coming back with us.
Yes, and goodbye.
Bye.